You have any special stories like you did last time where you began with syrup in your daughter's Switch Lite?
I never got it out. If that's a continuation of the story, I don't have.
Anyway, what doesn't require a full teardown is this episode, which we're going to talk about. The Series X and S price increases, the implication on the market, and what it means for Nintendo. As we are a Nintendo show, you guys watch for the Nintendo angle. We're going to bring it for you. X going to bring it to you.
Yeah. I was supposed to bark there, wasn't I?
What? Anyway.
What?
So obviously you guys know the Switch 2 is coming out in about a month. In fact, exactly 30 days? Is that on the exact days? I'm not sure. We're recording this on
I believe, yeah.
May 5th.
Yes, 30.
Or excuse me, we're recording this on May 6th. So
a day less than a month.
It's gonna be May, but it's actually already May. So the Switch 2 is coming out, and Xbox/Microsoft has announced price increases across the board down the line. And what we're going to do for you guys is, this is a part one. We're going to talk about all about the Xbox Series X and the S, those price increases compared to the market. And then for the part two, we're going to talk about the game prices and, you know, the implication, because also games got increased as well for Microsoft across the board. And we're going to talk about that portion in a part two for members only. So if you want to check that out, it should be available as you're watching this one as well. Make sure to just turn on the members only one after this one is completed. But Drip, as far as this is concerned, let's just begin straight up with the price increases and the main ones here. So the first and main one, actually I can pull this up for people to see as well. Look at this, press this button, bada bing, bada boom, there it is. So this Xbox Series S 512 gigabyte edition, that's the edition that's normally $380. Oh, excuse me, that's normally $300.
Yeah, $299.
Now raised to $380. The Xbox Series that's 1 terabyte version, so it double the storage, normally $350, now is $430. And these are MSRP prices. This is official, like this is what they're going to cost now. Xbox Series X digital, so the non-physical version, goes up $100. The Xbox Series X with disk drive goes up $100. That's all the way up to $600. And the other price here, the Xbox Series X 2 terabytes. So again, this is double storage from the base model. Normally was $600. Now is $729. I repeat, $729 Strip. Let's begin with that one first, because that's the biggest one.
That one's, I mean, yeah, well, that's the number everybody's going to be looking at and screaming about online. Like, oh, $730 for just a regular Series X. I mean, that's the one. That's a lot. That's a lot.
It is
That's
2 terabytes. That is
okay,
that's pretty
but
convenient. Yeah. I mean,
well, okay, it's 2 terabytes and has some speckles on it. That's the only thing that's really different than the other one that's $600 now.
Yeah, and that's actually
even
that's
that
the biggest increase.
$600.
Period, because that goes from $600 to $720 and $30. So that's $130 increase.
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, that's a big jump. I feel like I haven't really looked at a lot of the conversation online, but I feel like the conversation's got to be, oh, Nintendo's to blame for this because they did it. They stopped all this stuff and then raised all their prices, except for they didn't do the consoles. They just did all their accessories, which Xbox has also done. We'll go over that in a second. But I mean, this is all this is really is a toss at a dartboard. This is all this is. It's a lot. I mean, these are big jumps. And when do these take effect? I know the other part of this, the games part, doesn't take effect till holiday. Is this pricing like as of right now?
You know, you think I'd be prepared and have that information ready for you to
I got it right here, May 1st. So yeah, this is happening.
It's now. It's May 6th now. So yeah, it's already in effect. So that's right now. That's crazy.
Yeah. The game prices will be holiday season. That's when they go up to 80.
Fair enough.
I mean, they're throwing at a dartboard and seeing how much they're gonna do, because with everything going on, nothing is certain. That's the problem.
Yeah,
that's the big problem they have right now. Is nothing is certain, and they don't even. I mean, who knows? In 2 weeks they could look back at this price and be like, man, we screwed up bad. We should have raised the price $200, or we should have only done it, $30. Now they're way too expensive. Which, I mean, I guess they could walk it back either way. But like, you keep changing prices like that, then people are just like, I'm out. I'm done. Like, who knows what you're going to be paying? I mean, and you can't do that. You can't do that with products that you're trying to actually sell to a mass amount of people. You can't just change the prices up and down and up and down. It's not like it's not like the stock market. You can't just name the price of that day and then sell Series S's and X's for $50 cheaper today, and then tomorrow, well, there's new stuff, so they're $100 more the next day, and then they're down. It's
from the Microsoft angle. Go ahead.
Well, they don't have the information to be able to do this accurately. So they probably just did this to say, okay, this is a safe place for us to go, looking at the information we have, what could happen, what might not. I mean, this is probably where they landed on probably to try to at least save themselves from really God, they already make nothing selling these consoles.
I gotta stop you right there. Hold on. I gotta stop you right there. Because there is no way that Microsoft needs to be saved by any means. I mean, Xbox, the Xbox brand is not Microsoft. It is underneath of them, but it's not like the Xbox brand is absolutely rolling in cash. In fact, my guess is they're incredibly non-profitable. It's just daddy Microsoft is but I mean, you can't sit here and take a $200-$300 loss every time one of these things goes out the door, though. You've got to make it up somehow, because you're bleeding, but you can't just take the bandage off and bleed out completely. Well, we're assuming they're taking. I mean, that's a big assumption. I'm not sure. Do we even know the number of what the loss is per console? I'm not sure if
I have no idea exactly what it is. I know they're losing some.
Yeah,
but think about this: if you're bringing them in, and they cost even more to bring in, but you keep the price the same, you're already losing money.
Yeah.
So you're going to just lose even more. I mean, I understand why they did it. It's just, it's just a tough jump for somebody looking at, especially with the landscape of everything else right now.
I'm curious.
That's a tough ask.
What I'm curious is how profitable Game Pass is. Because I'm assuming Game Pass is extremely profitable. Not just profitable, but extremely profitable. That's my assumption.
That is one thing. Yeah, it has to be. I mean, they do have to pay. They pay these publishers and stuff money to get their games on. I mean, obviously their own stuff goes on there, but they're still paying the people who make the games.
Yeah.
I mean, money's being spent on it for sure. But yeah, the amount of people who just have an Xbox Game Pass subscription is substantial, I'm sure.
Well, as we know, everything's an Xbox. I mean, I play Xbox Game Pass on my ring light over there.
Yeah.
I mean, everything's
this potato right here is actually also an Xbox.
Look at that. You got a real potato. It's so cute.
Yeah, it's a woven.
Yeah, a woven potato.
It's a positive potato,
you weren't just saying something. Like, I could say this is a potato, but this is not a potato. This is hand cream.
No, it's an Xbox.
But in fact, this hand cream does play Elden Ring. I can confirm.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
it does.
Anyway.
So that is one thing actually that they do have going for them. They still have that to fall back on, I guess, because you don't, if you're like, I want to play these Xbox games, these exclusives, which really aren't even exclusives anymore. They don't have that. I mean,
right.
They're putting those everywhere. There are still some, but if you want a big library of games, they do have the servers. I mean, you really only need your phone and a controller if you want to go that route. So, I mean, I guess they do have that to fall back on, but like, honestly, I feel like I've been saying this for a while as far as Xbox goes, and I think you might agree with me. Like, why are they even making consoles anymore? Like this, why are they doing this? Like, what's the point?
I think there's no win, there's no lose in this situation to raise their prices, because if people already weren't buying their consoles, who cares if they raise the price? They're not buying them anyway, so it's not going to change their mind in the positive to buy the console, raise the price. So they're not losing anything there. And the people who do buy their consoles, It's like Nintendo. Like we like it or not, we did get a price increase in this generation, Switch 2, and we're all going to pay that price increase because we want the next thing. This is not the next thing. This is the current thing. But there's somebody who already wants to buy an Xbox, and they weren't really concerned about the $500 price tag that it already cost to begin with. I don't think $600 is really going to deter them. But I will say this. It does, though. Unless they were an Xbox, what do you call, like, we're Nintendo drones, what do you call Xbox fans? Boxed in fans. They're only in on their Xboxes. Those people in particular, if there even is those people, of course they're going to buy this anyway. But the people who are like, who I don't have a, believe it or not, people who watch this show, there are people out there who don't have a gaming console right now and they are looking to get one. As crazy as that may sound, there's still those people who exist out there. And if they're going, I had the 360 back in the day. I've been a PC gamer all this time, but I'm looking to get back into console gaming right now, late in the generation where prices normally decrease, which we'll get to in a minute. I might go for an Xbox, but wait. Xbox, as of right now, my plans are changing because I'm not paying $600 for the Series X when you can buy a PlayStation 5 with Astrobot for $450, which is something to consider if you're somebody who wants to get into console gaming or in the market to buy a new console. I mean, this is terrible for Xbox in that regard. It doesn't hurt people who already hate them, so they're not going to affect those people. But they're affecting the people who actually still buy their hardware, and that's what's baffling to me. Like, you're Microsoft. I know you're Xbox. Like I said, I made that point already that Xbox doesn't make a lot of money, but you're Microsoft. If you want your brand to survive and you don't want to be the next Sega, maybe you just eat $200, $300 per sale because you can afford it. Number one, you can afford it. And number two, your brand should be more important to you than $200 per sale. And if it's not, if your brand isn't more important than $200 is, then you should stop selling consoles, because stop selling consoles is a better method than hurt the fans the little fans you have left. It's worse to hurt them than it is to hurt yourself because you clearly can afford it. Ask any business owner, a small business owner out there, they would rather hurt themselves in the short term than to lose their customer base, because once their customer base is gone, it's really hard to get them back. And in this case for Xbox, I think Microsoft is not looking at Xbox like that. They're looking at it from Microsoft's standpoint, whereas like, we have profit margins we have to hit, so we got to do that. But in reality, they should be treating this like a small business where it's like, if we lose our customers, that is painful because there is so much competition down the road that you can go to.
I feel like you're already triggering people to get down in the comments because you're talking about how little of a fan base Xbox has. There's going to be people just ripping you apart. I'm an Xbox fan. I'm a fan.
Go ahead.
You suck. Nintendo guy, you don't know. You don't know Nintendo guy. No,
I was, hey, friends out there. My first console, if you think I'm a Nintendo guy.
No, you're a Nintendo guy.
My first there's probably there's been a new influx of listeners to our show, so I figure I'll say this for them. My first console ever was a PlayStation 1. It was used. It was an Easter present. It was we bought it used. My parents bought it for me used. And then the console after that was an Xbox 360. And besides all that, I had a Game Boy around the same time, sometime after I got a PS1. So like, I've been all three my entire life.
So you love Sony. You're a Sony boy.
I'm a Sony pony. I'm a Nintendo drone. And at this moment, Xbox has hurt my fandom of Xbox. I used to be a huge Xbox guy. They've hurt that. They hurt it from the transition. Game Pass, do you? They hurt that from the transition from Xbox 360 to One. That transition hurt because number one, it was way too expensive, and number two, the focus was on like media. I'm like, but the games, bros, but the games. So they hurt it then, and I haven't been back since, and I don't plan to, because if 5 years down the line they're raising the prices. Well, your question was, do I have Game Pass? I did have Game Pass. I thought it was interesting. I wanted to get back into some Xbox stuff. I was going to buy a Series S, and then I got Game Pass and I saw the games and I'm like, wait a minute, there aren't any games. Like I had a PC, so like there really was no reason to buy an Xbox because I could play them on my PC just fine, better than the Series S. And then they started porting the games over. Like the ones I really wanted were like Forza and like that stuff. They're already available on the
PlayStation 5. Yeah.
It took this long to get there, but with the Indiana Jones game that came out years after I was thinking about doing this, like that, I was like, oh man, but I want to play Indiana Jones. Oh, they already announced it's immediately coming to other platforms.
Yeah, isn't it already out on
Halo's
PlayStation? Wait, it's already out on PlayStation,
yes,
isn't it?
Yes,
or coming
yes,
soon?
Correct.
Yeah, it's out.
And
it's
Halo,
out, yeah.
the biggest. I was the biggest Halo guy.
Yeah.
And
well, we
that
don't know for sure yet.
Not for sure yet, but that's been rumored, and probably seeing as the way other games have gone, that's going to follow suit and go to the other platforms as well.
Yeah. I mean, this whole thing is, I don't know. I feel like I've never really understood exactly what Microsoft was trying to do with Xbox, but now it's just so much more complicated now. Like what, just trying to figure out like what you're doing. I just don't know why. I mean, I don't know. I feel like,
what would you do? Like answer my question. Like if you're,
I mean,
you
at
have
this
you have
point,
a small business mind. Like would you rather hurt your current customer base and risk them moving to other platforms, or would you rather eat the cost because you can afford it? In this world, you can afford it. Microsoft can afford to eat it. Would you just afford it for the next couple of years during the last couple of years of the generation to not lose the fans you have left?
Me, honestly,
yeah. What would you do?
I would have already been out in front of this. It's not like these tariffs are a surprise. We knew this was coming. He was talking about this bullshit before he was even elected.
Phil Spencer, right?
No, I'm talking about the president of the United States.
The orange buffoon.
He's been talking about tariffs since he was campaigning, running, and won, and said this is what he was going to do. Like, this is not a surprise. This is something that I feel like these companies, obviously you and I aren't thinking about that, but this is your business and you know where this stuff is being shipped from. It's manufactured in China. You know that's who's going to take the hardest hit when it comes to the tariffs. Why weren't we thinking about that, 6, 7, 8 months ago? Like, let's figure out what we can do then and get things, maybe prepared a little better. Then you probably could have kept the price because you could have had enough over here at that point to be like, okay, we're going to be fine for a while. We can make the money on these ones. We can at least wait it out still and see what happens. And if you need to make a price increase, it could have been a gradual increase instead of just $100, because that's a big jump. I mean, $100 is what it is, whatever. If you want to say, oh, that's not that much, it is a lot. To each person, that's going to be different. But if it were me, I would have got it way out in front of this then and tried to get as many consoles into the country as I could before all this stuff started happening. That way, you don't really have to worry about this as much right now. That's what I would have done. And I would have tried to keep the price the same as long as possible. And if it needed to go up some, gradual. $30.
It's important to know.
$30.
It's important to know from a Nintendo perspective again, going back there, they did not raise the price of their console.
Because they were prepared.
Nintendo,
because they had them in the country.
Than Microsoft. Raise your hand in the chat if you're shocked by this. No, I mean we're not live right now. But like, listen,
they were prepared.
The bigger you get as a company, the worse you are in every way, every possible way.
Nintendo's not tiny.
You make more money. No, but Nintendo looking at Microsoft is like David and Goliath.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so for sure.
So like in that perspective, like the bigger you get, the worse of a company you are, hands down across the board. If you ever work for a big company, especially from like, I was an Amazon worker. I worked at the lowest level in Amazon you could work at. So you may think I'm completely unqualified to make this statement, but I promise you, if you're someone who is aware and pays attention, you realize how incompetent your company is. And Amazon, I could see how incompetent of a company they are. As big as they are, as profitable, as much money as they rake in, believe it or not, money raking in doesn't equal competent business.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And, once you're that big, stuff gets missed, I'm sure. And there's so many things going on and it's hard to keep track of everything.
Indeed.
But I feel like even in that sense of, okay, maybe that's what, like, I feel like this is a big deal. I feel like this is something that you definitely should have had in your head. Like, we have to figure out something just in case, because we can't get ourselves in a position where we're caught with our pants down and got to raise the price of everything $100 or $130, which they did.
Yeah.
It's
baffling. It's baffling to me that they are raising the price on this. It's not surprising that they are doing it because they probably, because we know what's going on based off of what is happening with Nintendo, the conversation there. Not surprising at all that these prices are going up. What's surprising is that, like you said a minute ago, nothing was done prior. They didn't figure this out prior to make sure that they didn't have to do this. Maybe their game prices should have gone up before the console prices a long time ago, just to compensate, because that's where the real profit margins are.
Yeah, you can make it up.
Especially for Xbox, most of their sales in most Xbox sales are digital games or games.
Yeah, that's a nice little thing they slid in there too. The games. We'll talk about that in the next one, but
indeed,
that's pretty funny that happened there too.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else went up too. The controllers.
All that is for the members show in a minute, Drip. So don't you hold your thoughts on that, because we'll get there.
Okay.
I guess I feel like unless you got anything more, we can kind of wrap this one up here.
I don't know. I mean, the next domino to fall in all this is Sony. Yes, they're going to do the same.
Yes,
but I do feel like at least with maybe, oh God, I hope you look at the PlayStation 5 Pro, $700 already.
Right.
Like, did they already think maybe they were like, this is going to have to increase. Let's just do it now. And I mean, we were all kind of shocked at the $700 price tag on that.
I think you might be right about that.
I mean, maybe they are like, hey, this is going to really, it's going to be a sticker shock to people when they see it. But later on, when we don't have to raise the price of that thing, maybe it'll be okay. I mean, now, did we see the other ones come up? As of recording, they haven't announced anything. I figured it was going to be like the next day, 2 days later, and they were just going to be like, "Yep, we're doing it too."
Still haven't heard. As of now, still haven't heard from Sony what they're going to do.
Yeah, that's what I'm interested to see. I'm interested to see what they do, because my God, can you imagine if they put another $100? It's going to be $800 for a PlayStation 5 Pro, and that's before the disc drive. And they're probably going to increase the price on that too.
Yeah. I really don't think
PlayStation 5 Pro is going to be $1,000.
We'll see how this ages, this opinion, but I really don't think Sony's going to raise their prices, because they probably would have.
They might not.
I feel like Xbox was the last one to do this, because Nintendo already did their price increases with the accessories and the games. Well, the games unofficially, but we all know. And Xbox here with everything. Sony, I feel like they're good. Everything that's on the market right now might stay the same.
The game prices might go up.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
That's for another video, Jeeb.
That's right. Physically, their systems and their consoles, I think the price they're going to be this generation. They're not lowering. We know that much. It's 5 years in this generation as far as Xbox and Xbox and Sony, and those two companies, at this point, should be lowering the prices, and they're doing the opposite at this point. So, interesting stuff. Again, a reminder, if you want to become a member, you can do that. You click the join button right below us right here. If you're watching the show on YouTube, get the extra content there. If you're listening, the only way to get the members podcast is on YouTube. So sorry about that. I've not figured out a way to get the member stuff to members via audio only. I don't really know how to do that. But if you have YouTube Premium, you could just close the video on your phone and it becomes a podcast audio. So there is that little functionality there. But yeah, become a member, because we're going to talk about the other aspect of this, the game prices, and that as well. That's a separate interesting conversation, because there's some interesting stuff and accessories. Xbox also raised prices on all the accessories. We can directly compare that to Nintendo, which we will do. But for this one, we're going to sign off for now. We're doing our live show tomorrow evening, Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, as always, and we'll see you then.
Later.